Hey guys, and welcome to part 1 of the Geometry Dash Iceberg. This thing is a behemoth of an iceberg and has 14 tiers and almost 1,000 entries, which is insane. And if you're now clicking on the video, and despite the giant KindMaster watermark, I want you to at least give it a chance. This video will be no short process, and just one part is going to take a while. One thing I'd like to get out of the way before we start is the fact that this is a passion project. I have a really small channel, and most people would think that putting this much effort into this big of a project for a channel my size would be dumb. But like I said, this is a passion project, so I don't really care. I started making this video like a year ago with a smaller 150 entry iceberg, but something happened to the video file and I permanently lost it, and this really sucked. And from what I remember, I was literally in tears due to losing like 3 to 4 months of progress on it. And from what I remember, the video was like 2 hours long, not including part 1, which was like 30 minutes. So I'm gonna hurry up and talk about these because, yeah, I don't want to talk about these any more than I have to, but lobotomy levels / fire in the hole are levels that popped up around 2.2's release, taking advantage of all the new features in the editor, and it would basically take stupid brain rot TikToks and stuff, that kind of thing with all the flashy colors and sound effects, and turn it into a Geometry Dash level. And yeah, these suck, and you know, they were funny to other people for like a month until they started getting overused and stuff, and I don't know, I personally never found that funny, but that's probably because the brain rot type stuff that got popular even outside of Geometry Dash just kind of annoyed me overall. On January 16th, 2017, Update 2.1 came out for Geometry Dash, and this was a monumental update for the game. At this point in the game's history, updates were starting to come out slower and slower, so people knew that the next update would be, let's just say, a larger wait. 4 years would go by with no update until the Geometry Dash 2.2 sneak peek premiered on August 14th, 2021 on RobTop's YouTube channel. It's safe to say that when this came out, the entire community flipped out. The sneak peek would feature several things, such as the first half of the level dash and a few icon leaks. A year later, a second sneak peek would come out, showing part of the new demon level explorers in part of the tower, and just recently the 10-year anniversary would come out with a hidden sneak peek at the end containing a release date of October 2023. Spoiler alert, it got delayed and ended up coming out on December 19th, 2023. Safe to say that this is probably the biggest event in Geometry Dash history. Newgrounds was a semi-controversial platform founded in 1995 and was primarily used for making flash games and animations. The reason that this is related to GD, though, is because that this is the only platform that GD supports for song use, meaning that if the song is not on Newgrounds, then you can't use it in a level unless you use something that's called a nong. RobTop, real name Robert Topola, or however you pronounce that, is a Swedish game developer who just so happens to have created Geometry Dash. He also has a YouTube channel that, funny enough, has surpassed the official Minecraft / Mojang channel, along with, I believe, Epic Games, which is the creator of Fortnite. So yeah, I found that a bit interesting. Also, I think it's funny how there's only like 2 pictures of RobTop ever, and it's just like the one where he's making that goofy face and the one where he's in the gym like beefed up. So this is a pretty hard achievement to get, which awards you with a really, really ugly looking icon. So basically what you do is you go into the Vault of Secrets and type in Codebreaker, and it will then like forcefully like flash like 6 numbers or something on screen, and you pretty much have to like write them down and then assign each of them like a letters, like the first one be A and then B and then, you know, so on, and then I don't know exactly what order, but you're supposed to like subtract them from each other in like different ways and eventually just combine all those numbers together, not like add them, but like just like take them and then just type them into the little text box, and then you'll get a really, really ugly icon. So, secret vaults are like, okay, so they're little rooms you can access by hitting like hidden buttons that are on screen sometimes. Those being like a little door on the coming soon page. There's a little like lock in like the top right corner after you hit the create button, and there's also a lock if you hit the settings button. The names of these secret vaults are the Vault of Secrets, which we just discussed about the Codebreaker achievement, the Chamber of Time, and just the Vault. And each of these kind of act the same way in the fact that you can type in just secret codes and get achievements. And the thing with these is that I don't really think anyone, like few people probably actually, you know, went and found the clues to figure out what these codes were. Most of them just went to the wiki or something, so yeah. So the official levels are the original 22 levels made by RobTop. They're kind of like the campaign of the game, and they're probably, in my opinion, they're really good at getting you good at the game. And I don't care what you say, Theory of Everything 2 is easily the best out of all the RobTop levels, and I don't really think there's any competition. And I beat it literally every single day, so I have so much consistency, I could just beat it in one attempt anytime I want. By the way, the worst is Deadlocked easily. Not because of decoration. The decoration is fine, I guess, but it's the gameplay that really sucks. It's horrible. Like, just I'm pretty sure Deadlocked literally invented bad transitions. Okay, this is literally just RobTop's real name, and I don't really know why it's on the Iceberg, because we talked about this earlier, so moving on. So, online levels are levels made by the community. You can make these levels by going to the level editor, and there you can build a level yourself. You can then upload the level publicly for other players to play, although you can only upload a level to the servers if you verify it, which basically just means you have to beat it in normal mode to prove that it's possible to stop impossible levels from getting on the servers, but we all know that kinda didn't work. But yeah, fun fact, there are now actually 100 million levels now. I was about to say 1,000, but no, million levels now. Isn't that just crazy? Okay, so yeah, this is like one of the most basic entries on the entire Iceberg, so I'm gonna go through it pretty quick. But yeah, you can customize your little character or whatever by changing what are referred to as icons. And as of now, there are over 1,000 total icons in the game, because in 2.2 alone, over 700 were added. So that's just part of just the sheer size of an update that 2.2 was. So, moderator is a title that you can get in Geometry Dash, and according to the wiki, the power of moderators are basically they can send levels directly to RobTop, meaning that instead of like them getting rated via RobTop just stumbling upon them, they're actually directly sent to him, so there's a higher chance of them getting raided. And they can also delete levels off the servers for breaking guidelines. And they can also remove progress on levels on the leaderboards if they're cheated, as well as ban and unban people from the leaderboard. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And there's also several tiers to the moderator system, such as elder mods, but we'll talk about those later in the Iceberg. Also, you can tell someone's a mod based off if they have a little badge next to their username. So I guess that's a little, bonus of being a mod. Okay, so the next entry on the Iceberg is actually that other category of mods I was talking about, which are the elder mods. And since I already talked about mods in the other entry, I'm gonna keep this one real short. They can do everything that normal mods can do, but they can also delete comments and ban people for making comments. And they also have a different badge, that being green and pink. So this is a bit very, very basic entry. It's just referring to, you know, the accounts of users. Yeah, my mind is absolutely blown. But in all seriousness, once you make an account, you get tons of bonuses, such as being able to upload levels, and also being able to comment on other levels, and to add friends. So yeah, if you're playing Jump Dash and you don't have an account, definitely go and make one. So creator points are, I wouldn't really say a currency, but just kind of a valuable that you get for getting one of your levels rated. Now, I don't know if you get more depending on if it gets epic rated or not, but yeah, so these things are very, very high value in the community, and few people have them at all. And actually, getting creator points is linked to one of, if not the hardest achievement in the entirety of Geometry Dash. And yeah, that is the achievement of getting creator points, which will give you a very ugly UFO. And also, on top of that, the main reason it's hard to get a level rated is because the chances that RobTop even sees the level are very slim. Like, yeah, you could contact a mod if you're able to. If you're able to contact a mod, yeah, you can get the mod to send it to RobTop. But with how many levels he gets sent, there's a chance he might not even see it then. And with the rate standards being so high, there's a chance that even after all of that, it still might not get rated. But it's also common knowledge now that RobTop has a creator bias. So if you're like Exen or Viprin or just a creator that he really respects, then there is a way, way higher chance that you'll get your level rated. And yeah, pretty much the proof of that creator bias is the fact that levels like Conical Depression and EXO are rated, because like if you've seen them, you know. So Just Don't, which for some reason was recently changed to Do Not for some reason, I got no idea why. Yeah, it's a setting you can turn on that messes with your game in some really funny ways, and it's purely just a joke thing, but it does a lot of goofy things. Like every time you get a new best, it'll like taunt you in some way, or it flipping the attempt count upside down and giving you a little like message every time you beat a level. The Recent tab is a tab that you can visit while searching for levels. Now, as the name suggests, this is where like all the most like recently uploaded levels go. And the reason it's on the Iceberg is because YouTuber Eric Van Wilderman made a YouTube series out of it, boosting it in popularity, making it to where everybody knows about it. You know, not like the Magic tab or anything, which literally no one talks about. But yeah, in his series, what he would do is he would play a bunch of levels in the Recent tab, which Recent tab levels, if you didn't know, are mostly just random garbage, and just a mess. And what Eric Van Wilderman would do is he would go in and try to beat as many Recent tab levels as possible with only 100 lives. And yeah, it was a pretty interesting idea, I'll say. Okay, so I'm about to go to the Recent tab right now and show you what some levels look like. Wait, what? Oh, no. So, Recent, make your wave 3, alright? Okay, it's one of those generic ones. Alright, we got ship practice. It's a bunch of Spanish text. Okay, I think... Okay, wait, I thought the servers were down for... Yeah, what is this? This was uploaded literally like 2 minutes ago. Yeah, I think this gives you an idea of what the Recent tab is like. So, in the level Club Step, those little, like, faces that are everywhere, especially in the ship parts, are, yeah, they have been coined as Club Step monsters, and are now it kind of became like a trend, if you will, and now they're in, like, literally every level ever. And the thing about them that's really neat is the fact they're really like easy to make, and they vary a lot. So like in terms of some simplicity, it could go all the way from the ones in Club Step in the ship parts all the way up to the one in Edge of Destiny that everybody knows. So, deco styles is simply referring to the many different ways that people decorate levels. Like, for example, you got the 1.9 style, which is kind of like a, nostalgia type thing for people who just want to make their levels look like, 1.9. Or you got the modern style, which is more like simplicity and tends to have more bright colors. Or core, which core is kind of interesting. Now, core basically just involves throwing a bunch of random objects together in one design and just making it look really complicated. Now, it's pretty controversial due to the fact that some people, like one half of the community, really likes the really complicated design, but other people just hate it because they say it's messy. But in the end, it's just how people choose to, express themselves. Retry is the most downloaded level in the entire game. Now, there are multiple reasons to that. One of them is the fact that it's the first level in the map packs, which, granted, they are horrible, but a lot of people have played them. So, if you've played the map packs, you've probably played Retry, so that's already a lot of downloads. And on top of that, it's also pretty popular, probably because, it's not the easiest level in Geometry Dash. Like, some people say it's the easiest, but there's literally a level called The Spike Is Over There, where there's one jump in the entire level. So yeah, that's probably a bit easier. But yeah, it makes sense why this level is so popular. I'm gonna group these both together because, both of them aren't really that special. But yeah, Sonar used to be the most downloaded level in Geometry Dash. So yeah, that's probably why it's on here. But the reason, the reason Outer Space is on here is because I think it's the first level in any of the gauntlets. And I think it's the most downloaded, hard rated level. This one actually is the first entry on the Iceberg where I had to actually research it, other than the exact details of the moderators and stuff. But yeah, after just a little bit of digging, I found out that Nike 2012 is an account with the title of the most disliked account post ever, and it's really goofy. It says, "Welcome to my profile. If you want to be friends, then send a friend request. Also, make sure all friend requests have a message." Yeah, I have no idea why this is so disliked. There's 599 dislikes. And the thing is, it's probably more because, okay, so, listen here. The thing with, likes and stuff in GD is that they don't differentiate. Basically, if you get a like, then you get a like. But if you get a dislike, then it takes away a like. So the only way it would actually show dislikes if it was in the negatives, meaning it has way more than 599. And I don't know why it has so many dislikes. Honestly, if you're asking me, someone probably dislike botted it. So yeah, but to me, that's the most likely explanation. Man, what do I even say about Riot? Because, he is probably the most, famous player in this game's history. For his time, he was absolutely amazing. For example, he was the verifier of Bloodbath, but, you all know that, which was top 1 for, a year. He also hosted Tartarus, which was also top 1 for a year, along with Acheron, which was also top 1 for a year. So yeah, he kind of has a thing with legendary top 1s. And yeah, the amount of stuff Riot has done for the community should not go unmentioned. The effects he's had on the community are astronomical, if I'm being completely honest. And something a lot of you guys might not know is the fact that his most recent project, which is called Turnus, which I dedicated part of a video to. If you haven't watched that, the history of Geometry Dash's most legendary trilogy. But plug out of the ways. Yeah, he said that was gonna be his last project in the game, which, yeah, it's a pretty big deal for someone like Riot, because he's been around for a long time. I don't even know where the community would be at without Riot, honestly. So the Nightmare and the Lightning Road, no, not the Lightning Rod, these are two entries that are here for pretty much the same reason, so that's why I'm grouping them together. But both of these are debated upon for being the easiest demon in the game, and the Nightmare is known for being a lot of people's first demon, and yeah, I'm a bit of an NPC because it was also my first demon, so yeah, I'm not really much different than anyone else. But yeah, the focus has kind of drifted away from those two levels because a lot of people have been saying that the level I think it's called Shiver. Yeah, the level Shiver is the easiest demon, and I don't really agree, considering the fact that Shiver was like a 2-day thing for me. Both the Nightmare, I just kind of like picked it up and beat it over the period of a whole day. But yeah, they're all other than Bloodbath. Wait, no. The Nightmare and the Lightning Road are the two most downloaded demons in the whole game. I'm pretty sure they even have more downloads than Bloodbath even. So if you want, it's optional. You can put coins in your Geometry Dash level to reward players for, going places they shouldn't, or thinking outside the box, or just giving it to them for free if they beat the level. But whichever type of person you are, it doesn't matter. So yeah, whenever you add these coins to your level, they're bronze. They're like brown. But once they get rated, they turn into silver. Now, the bronze coloring is to signify that if you collect them, then they're not going to get added to your account. They're not going to help you get an achievement or anything. And the thing is, there's some really funny levels out there made by people who don't know that, called like free coins or whatever. And it's just a lineup of 3 bronze coins. And the funny thing is, they don't realize that the level has to be rated for the coins to actually count, so they're just pretty much useless. Also, I don't really know why this is, but for some reason, there are like really old rated levels that have bronze coins even though they're rated. Yeah, I'm sure it has something to do with the fact that they're old. And with that, we can finally move on to the second tier of the Iceberg, and it only took over 20 minutes. Let's go. This is referring to the people in 2.1 who had a strong belief that 2.2 would never come out. And yeah, every single time 2.2 got delayed, which believe me, happened a lot, it would pretty much just fuel this belief of theirs. And it's kind of funny now, since ever since it came out, those people were proven wrong. And yeah, I'm glad it did come out, even though it got delayed like 2 months. It could also be referring to this post made on r/Geometry Dash reading 2.2 is never coming out. It was just a lie to get people to continue playing this game for something that will never come out. And all I can is, what a big waste of everyone's time. Yeah, first of all, the grammar on this one didn't really make sense, but also it's kind of funny how badly this aged. It's just kind of funny hearing these people who are so stern about their opinion that GD 2.2 would never come out, and knowing that GD 2.2 came out. So, the Impossible Game is the game confirmed to have inspired Geometry Dash. It involves a cube jumping over a spike, quite like Geometry Dash, and that's honestly pretty much all it was. It was just a cube jumping on platforms and spikes. And it came out in 2009, and a lot of Let's Players played it, such as Markiplier and I think PewDiePie. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he played it. And yeah, it's very similar to what Geometry Dash used to be, except the reason now Geometry Dash isn't labeled as an impossible game clone, which it used to be, is because of just how much it expanded on the concept of the impossible game with different game modes, blocks, visuals, all that stuff. This is one of the instances I was able to find of someone referring to Geometry Dash as an impossible game clone, which I don't really blame them due to, the similarness, at least in the beginning of Geometry Dash's lifespan, and also, if you've noticed, the app icon or whatever is very similar. It's literally the exact same concept. So private servers, also known as GDPS, are versions of Geometry Dash that are connected to servers that don't belong to RobTop. Now, sometimes the purpose of this server, most of the time, would be, to play like one specific version of the game. For example, the 1.9 private server, which, as the name suggests, implies that you could play the 1.9 version of the game. And the 2.2 private server is especially popular in the months and even years following the release, before the release of 2.2, so people could kind of, get the experience of 2.2 and almost playtest it in a way. The Demons List is a platform that ranks every rated extreme demon in the game from easiest to hardest, and the Demons List is very old and has been around for years upon years, and was kind of the focal point of the entire community, because instead of people viewing it as like an external platform, people are starting to view it as something like in the game. So what I mean by that is people would start making levels for the Demons List. The popular phrase was the Demons List is made for levels, not the other way around. And yeah, I pretty much agree with it, but other than the small mention of controversy, at the moment, the top 3 hardest levels are Acheron, Avernus, and Tidal Wave. I remember how big of an event it was whenever Bloodbath, a very famous level, fell off the extended list onto Legacy list. Everybody was talking about it. Like, people are making videos about it, community posts. It was just such a big thing. And now that like, I believe the original RGB trilogy, Yatagarasu, Erebus, and I don't think Sonic Wave. Pretty sure I think Sonic Wave is still extended list, but yeah, at least those 2 are currently in the Legacy list, and yeah, it just goes to show how far we have pushed the skill limit in this game. The list is separated into 3 main sections: the main list, which is the top 75, the extended list, which is the top 150, and the legacy list, which has no limit. It's dedicated to every single level that's fallen off the extended list. So crappy levels, which is what I'm going to call them, are kind of a subset of Geometry Dash levels that take a popular demon and turn it into a layout pretty much and nerf it, mainly so that less experienced players can, get the experience of playing a top level. There's also a version of the Demons List meant for these levels called the Crappy List. So yeah, it's a pretty nice niche of a community. So the GD Awards are pretty much like the Grammys, but for Geometry Dash. They were hosted every year on Viper's YouTube channel up until the last GD Awards, where it was publicly endorsed by RobTop and hosted on his channel. So basically, the awards will go to things like Best Extreme Demon, or Best Easy Level, that type of thing. And up until recently, they stopped doing more specific awards. Like, they used to do things like Best Modern Level, Best Art Level, and they stopped doing that. So Boomlings is the game that RobTop made before Geometry Dash. I'm pretty sure it's one of those matching games, kind of with the same gameplay style as Candy Crush. And interestingly enough, Boomlings actually Geometry Dash uses take some of its textures from Boomling, so that's pretty interesting. I'm actually really happy this one is on the Iceberg, because it's really funny. Yeah, so basically on RobTop's Twitter, he's known for being an absolute savage, and anytime someone like messages him, whether it's like sometimes it's serious or sometimes it's a joke, sometimes he'll just, instead of seriously responding, he'll just decide to roast them for no reason. And I'll put some examples on screen right now, but I don't know, I'm not gonna lie, this kind of reminds me of the situation with the Wendy's Twitter account, because, you know, a corporation just roasting people, which seems kind of out of character. But I don't know, it's not the exact same situation, but I think you can understand why it reminds me of that. I'd say easily the most well-known one is the Space UK one with the Extreme Demon Tiny thing. I'm pretty much gonna skip over this because there's another entry on the Iceberg right after this that's here for the exact same reason, but I'll show the clip anyway.
What the fuck?
So after 135,000 attempts in 8 months, Nepesta verified the top 3 level Kinos. And the thing that makes this such a special thing is his reaction to it. Because honestly, unironically, like jokes aside and the meme aside, probably had one of the best Geometry Dash reactions ever. It was honestly such a special experience seeing the culmination of 8 months of work into one just genuinely like happy moment. You see, the meme blew up because of PewDiePie. Like it didn't blow up because of him. Like it was still a meme in the Geometry Dash community, but it didn't like get outside of the community until PewDiePie on one of his meme review videos talked about it, and it became kind of a meme within a meme because PewDiePie referred to him. He was like,
Meme. Okay, actually, this is a good meme. This is from Nepesta, who is a speedrunner. Why? He's speedrunning this square game. What is this game called? It's called an impossible game, isn't it?
in the months following the meme and its explosion in popularity, he made a 8-minute heart-to-heart with his fans where he talked about what it's like to be a meme, and honestly, I 100% recommend you go and watch it right now. Because one of the reasons I like Nepesta so much as a content creator is the fact that he's very genuine, and like he's not what most would call fake. And this video, apart from all his other videos, is a very good example of that. I'll play a clip from the reaction right now. So silent levels are referring to the absolute like truckload of impossible levels that use the word silent in their name, and this trend was started with the level Silent Club, which was a very, very old impossible level that eventually got verified, and this started a huge trend of, you know, impossible levels having the word silent in them. These types of levels were very, very popular in the beginning of Geometry Dash's lifespan, but they ended up dying as a concept later, but recently had a resurgence in the last couple of years with a bunch of new, more modern impossible levels came out, kind of taking a new spin on it. Now, there's like two types of impossible levels in this game. There's the actual like original levels that have unique gameplay, and there's the not so original levels that just copy and paste a bunch of spam throughout the level to get their impossibility. So Silent Circles is probably the most popular impossible level, and honestly it's not that good. It's just a generic 9 circles level that like the type mentioned before, it's one of the ones that just has a bunch of spam, and it's actually, that's the thing it's most well known for, is the long 15 clicks per second corridor at the end that lasts from like 50% all the way to the end of the level. So kind of what happened was, I feel like Cyrillic, I think that's who made it. Yeah, Cyrillic just got bored and decided to just make the rest of it copy and pasted because he didn't feel like making gameplay for the rest of it. So this level has so much history to it, I couldn't possibly give it justice just in this Iceberg video, but I recommend watching one of those history videos about it, like the race to beat Silent Clubstep, like videos like that, because I can't really do anything but summarize it. But basically, so Silent Clubstep was a very, very old impossible level, made in 1.8 but published in 1.9. Initially, it gained popularity when Zobros did a practice run of it, taking over, I believe, over 1,000 attempts, and he called it impossible, which was a big deal considering he was the best player at the time. And remember, at the time, no one really knew how to hack verify things, so at the time people thought this was actually verified and were confused and just shocked that Zobros, the best player at the time, would call it impossible. And people would start making progress on the level, and by progress I just mean they would try doing practice runs and less attempts until eventually they actually started playing from zero, and eventually people were able to get to the drop, which, remember, the pre-drop is actually the hardest part of the level, and just getting to 24% is harder than 24 to 100. So yeah, talk about condensed difficulty. And shortly after, people would do 24 to 100, and this proved that the level was possible. Doing a level in 2 runs is a huge milestone. So for something like Silent Clubstep, it was a big deal. Eventually, it would get verified, and it was like one of the biggest events to ever happen in the Geometry Dash community, other than like 2.2 coming out or something like that. That's how big of a thing this was, because this level, people are trying to beat this for over 8 years. Like, just stop and think about that. Also, Vision literally took 820,000 attempts to beat it in 3 years. So, yeah, dedication, I guess. Mega Hack is a cheat engine used by pretty much like everybody who can. It was developed by Absolute, and it has like every hack you can think of. It's not just like cheats and stuff, it's more or less like, it's mostly quality of life things, actually, like the start position switcher, or the practice mode song thing, which is now in the actual game. Because 2.2 took a lot of the features that Mega Hack had and actually added it into the vanilla game, so that's actually pretty nice. Basically, you press some keybind and it'll bring up this very complicated menu. It's not really complicated, it's just there's a lot of stuff. It's gotten to the point where Mega Hack is pretty much a necessity, and you pretty much can't live without it at this point. People have described it. I've heard, I forgot who it was, but I heard someone say that once you decide to start beating anything harder than like a hard demon, then you pretty much have to get Mega Hack. So I already talked about Mega Hack, so I'm gonna go through this one pretty fast. But as far as my knowledge goes, there is a version of Mega Hack that has it's like a premium. It's like the pro version, and it either costs money or costs more money than actually like the Mega Hack that most people use. So making hacks in mods for mobile is quite a bit more challenging than it is to make for PC, just due to differences in software. But yeah, there are not very many, but there are a few applications for hacking on mobile. Most notably, iCreate Pro, which came out recently with the release of 2.2. which has a lot of the stuff that Mega Hack has, and as far as I know, it only works for Android. So, sorry iPhone users. And before we move on, I just want to mention, iCreate Pro sounds like the name of an editing software. So, what this is referring to is videos you can find on YouTube of people playing Geometry Dash on, let's just say, non-conventional devices, such as King Samalot playing Geometry Dash on a piano, this random dude playing it on a smart fridge, and this video I found of someone who made a fan-made version and put it on the DS. Okay, so this word is pronounced epical, and to the person who created this iceberg, you probably know, you're probably way better with words than everybody else is, because this is not a very common word, and I had to do some research to figure out what this meant. But judging by what my research amounted to, I think what this is referring to is players who were able to, like, push the boundary of this game. So, people like Riot, who verified Bloodbath, so yeah, that's a way he pushed the boundary of skill. And even on the creator side of things, people like Zender Game, who have pushed the boundaries of what you can do in the editor with his amazing boss fights and things like that. So, with Steam, typically for pretty much every game, there will be like external achievements that you get on Steam, on the platform Steam itself, that's not in-game. And as of now, there are currently 537 achievements on the Steam version, and 2 more were added with the inclusion of 2.2. And I don't really understand why this is actually on the iceberg, because, like, yeah, it's common sense. There's achievements on Steam for Geometry Dash, so. This is actually a pretty funny entry, because I think it's literally just referring to the picture of Rob Top at the gym that we talked about earlier. Another thing this could be referring to is the fact that there was a daily level called Rob Top's Gym. So r/place was a pretty neat subreddit that blew up on the internet a while ago, and the whole gimmick was the fact that every 5 minutes you'd be able to place a pixel of any color you wanted. And it was actually pretty cool. There was a bunch of people making art and stuff, and what you're seeing on screen currently is a time lapse of what r/place looked like. The reason this is on the iceberg is because someone made a memorial for Michigan on it, which is actually pretty cool, along with a lot of other Geometry Dash art. So, Smithy777 is currently the top 1 player on the leaderboards right now. He has 273,000 stars, almost 5,000 moons, 7,000 demons, 57,000 user coins, 164 secret coins, and 204,000 diamonds. The amount of work and dedication it must take to be able to do this is absolutely insane. So, yeah, props to Smithy for being able to do this. So, I don't know much about computers and stuff, but I'll try to sum this up. So, Hertz, also known as refresh rate, and FPS, which is an abbreviation of frames per second, pretty much decide how smooth the image on your monitor is. So the higher the hertz and FPS, the better, pretty much. And that's what it is for Geometry Dash, because if you've been around the community for a while, you know that hertz and FPS is very important for this game. So much so that when it comes to like hard levels beaten on those lower hertz, like lower refresh rates and FPS, they are significantly lower on the demons list than levels that have been beaten on higher refresh rates and FPSs. But the thing is, one does not work without the other, because the way it is that if you have high hertz but you don't have high FPS, that's not really going to affect it too much. If you want a good effect, then you're going to need high hertz and high FPS. So, texture packs are a mod of sorts that you can use to make your game look different. A lot of YouTubers are known for their texture packs that, are meant to like fit their channel colors or whatever, just to, personalize their game a bit. So this is kind of self-explanatory, but I'll explain it anyways. So in the Geometry Dash community, there's kind of like a challenge of sorts, for lack of a better term, where you try to beat a level in the most amount of clicks as possible and the least amount of clicks as possible. For example, the world record, I believe, for Stereo Madness and the least amount of clicks as possible is 23. It used to be 24, but due to a lot of like frame perfect jumps being discovered, people are able to get it down to 23. The world record for that one is actually really interesting because just doing that alone requires so many frame perfect inputs. Is actually crazy. While on the other hand, you got maximum click completions, which is pretty much just spam. Like someone was able to get like 8,000 clicks on retray using an auto clicker, so yeah. So I had no idea who this person was until I googled their name and figured out who they were. He's actually the person who made those really old animations of Geometry Dash from like 7 years ago. You'll probably recognize the one where they go into the ship portal. But yeah, he started his channel doing like stick figure animations, and then he started doing these, which is where he blew up. And as of right now, his last video is 2 years ago. So, Dorbe Basic is a level series consisting of 24 levels made by the creator Dorbe. Now, the difficulty of these levels ranges from easy all the way up to medium demon. The main reason these levels are so popular are probably because the map packs are literally full of them. And honestly, referring to Dorbe Basic 4, for a level made in 2014, almost 10 years ago, actually, I think it aged pretty well. So the swing copter is the newest game mode in the game, but before it was an actual game mode, it was actually a gimmick. So what you would do is you would get a dual ball and you would force one of the duals into a little corridor filled with multi-activate blue pads, allowing the other ball to actually switch gravity in midair. I don't really know why this is on here, but yeah, RobTop's birthday is February 23rd, 1987. So, most Geometry Dash level names tend to just be like one or two random words from the English language. So now we're at the point where if you see those two words in a context that's not Geometry Dash, maybe one will go in a joking manner, is that a Geometry Dash reference, or something like that. Fun fact, there's actually a whole Twitter account dedicated to just uploading pictures of these quote-unquote Geometry Dash references. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about an actual Geometry Dash reference. So in Jump King DLC, in one of the rooms, there's a room full of just paintings, and one of the paintings is literally just Michigan's cube. So secret ways are a method that people use to skip entire levels, all the way from like just teleport portals that say secret way and don't even try to hide it, all the way to the really old practice mode blue orb glitch, where you'd exit practice mode and hit a blue orb and it'd send you like straight up into the sky to like a 4x speed ship, and it just let you skip the whole level. This was mainly used as a method to verify levels without actually beating the main path, but nowadays this has actually fallen out of style due to, hack verifying being a thing, or just autocomplete, that kind of thing. So, from what I found, this comment, unsurprisingly, by RobTop has the most likes out of any comment ever, and apparently it was also the first to hit 100k. There was also someone who said that there was a comment on Sakoop in Hell that had 140k, but the only thing I could find while I was scrolling was this comment. As for the most disliked comment, I found this one by Incendium, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, where he literally quits Geometry Dash, and it has over 150,000 dislikes, as you can see. So I think it's safe to say that this is the most disliked comment in Geometry Dash. This one is simply referring to the many Let's Plays that popular YouTubers such as PewDiePie and Markiplier did after Geometry Dash came out. I'm pretty sure the only reason that the Markiplier one happened was because he decided to install Geometry Dash while waiting for an update on like GTA or Call of Duty. So what platformer mode does is it takes out the side-scrolling aspect of Geometry Dash and makes it more like a traditional platformer, kind of like Mario and those old classic games, to where you can control your actual movement going back and forth. There are actually two game modes that aren't usable in platformer mode. These are the ship, due to being replaced by the jetpack, and the wave, due to RobTop not knowing how to program it into platformer mode. Adding platformer mode was actually part of the reason why 2.2 took so long, because it's such a big change to add a whole new, like, type of game. So, yeah, and it even got to the point where people were wanting him to put it in 2.3 instead, which I understand. So, Potbore is the name of the owner of the community shop, and it also happens to be RobTop spelt backwards. So what I believe this is referring to is a post made on r/Geometry Dash that has a lot of people divided. It reads, Top 1 Extreme Demon Rant. If I'm being honest, I don't know why people make top 1 demons or high-ranked extremes. A lot of extremes are really just annoying to play because of cancerous timings that make you basically rely on frame rate. Hard levels can be really fun, but extreme demons are just relying way too much on can you beat this tight wave part or the straight fly, that it's just a fight to see who has the best gaming PC. So I actually disagree with him quite a lot on this, because first of all, people make high-end extreme demons due to the fact they just want to push themselves and they enjoy the challenge and they like pushing the skill limit. I also kind of disagree with the can you beat this tight wave part or the straight fly, because literally that's the point of the level. It's can you beat all these parts in succession. And I also disagree with the last part that reads that it's just a fight to see who has the best gaming PC, because that's not really what it is at all. It's just one of the requirements. You need a good PC in order to play some high levels. So showcases are a genre of Geometry Dash videos where one will use a tool on maybe MegaHack, Zbot, or one of those applications and make a macro of Geometry Dash level, commonly impossible levels, and then record it and upload it to YouTube. There are a lot of channels that dedicate themselves to just making these showcases, such as FNMO4, which is a channel I particularly like because they do other stuff outside of just showcases, or just a GD player and Exen. I only have one issue with this type of content, due to the fact that after a new hard level gets verified or something like that, every single showcase channel will immediately race to try to be the first to just make a showcase of it, even if that particular channel has already showcased that level. Like as soon as Sakupin Circles was verified, I saw Exen's video just saying, it's verified, Sakupin Circles 4K showcase or something like that. Same with like FNMO4, just a GD player. So I like this part as referring to this bit of text that shows up right before that really bad part in Deadlocked. And for some reason, something about this really stuck with people, and it became kind of like a trend in back in the early days of Geometry Dash for people to just put I like this part before random parts in their Geometry Dash level. So this comes from one of the messages that you can get after beating a level if you apply the just don't setting. This one's real short, but one thing I want to say is when I was searching it up, this showed up with this thumbnail, but when you click on it, this is what you see. So, minigame levels are a style of level made popular by Zender Game, which take a long time to make. I'll put some gameplay of one on screen. Minigame levels tend to strive from normal Geometry Dash gameplay in order to make kind of like their own thing. They utilize 2-player mode to make it to where you can change directions like what you're seeing in the level on screen. They were kind of like platformer levels before platformer levels, if that makes sense. So the Iceberg doesn't specify which slaughterhouse, the new one or the old one, so I'm just going to choose, then I'm going to talk about the old one. So old slaughterhouse was a very old and very bad old impossible level. It was one of those spammy ones that I talked about earlier, where there's like 2 types of silent levels. And yeah, this is definitely the spammy type that just copy and paste spam over and over again. And Ice Cave, understandably, wasn't happy with this product, so yeah, he decided to turn it into what we now know as New Slaughterhouse, which we all know went on to become a top one. And the only reason this level is popular is because Tosh Deluxe showcased it on his channel, and that showcase currently has 1.3 million views. Also, I have to give credit to his old cringy intro. So, Zodiac is an old 2.1 top 1 verified by Xander, but wait, there's a twist. It wasn't verified by Xander, and he confessed to hacking. Now, this was actually really weird, because no one really knew how he hacked. No one was even suspicious at him at all until he confessed. And back when this was actually a big deal and Zodiac was top 1, this kind of started a controversy due to there being pretty much no evidence that Xander hacked. So people started questioning the authenticity of all the other top players. This confession led to Technical49 becoming the verifier of Zodiac due to the fact that before, when he actually beat it, he thought he was the first victor, but when he came out with this confession, turned out that Technical was actually the verifier. Wait, doesn't this kind of remind you of something? This is the official subreddit for Geometry Dash. Not much else to say, moving on. Blomp is a meme started from this sound effect used in the beginning of blast processing. It's actually crazy how long this meme has lasted, despite the fact that I kind of never found it funny to begin with, I'm not gonna lie. This is a lyric from the song Time Machine, which was used in the level Time Machine, a song that absolutely slaps, by the way. So, after the UFO game mode came out, something clicked in Darnok's brain. He was like, this is kind of like Flappy Bird. So he decided to make a level where he copy and pastes the same structure like a gajillion times for a little over a minute, and then he uploaded it and called it a good level. And this wouldn't be too bad if it was just this one-off level. But the thing that makes this horrible is the fact that this started an entire trend of Flappy Bird levels and is commonly agreed upon to be the worst level trend in the entirety of Geometry Dash. People call 9-circle levels unoriginal because they use similar gameplay and deco concepts. Well, when you look at Flappy Bird levels, it makes 9-circle levels look like original masterpieces. So, NoClip is the most basic and well-known hack in Geometry Dash. Basically, what it allows you to do is it just lets you go through hitboxes and stuff, meaning you can't die. Even though this is probably the most easy to catch hack due to just how obvious it is, like you could literally see them going through stuff. But this has actually been used to hack things before, the most notable example being VSC. Behind NoClip, Speed Hack is probably the second most well-known cheat out of all of them. But the thing is with this one is it was actually, or at least it used to be, an actual viable method of hacking. It isn't anymore, but back then, what you used to have to do was just record completion at like 0.25 speed, and then just speed it up, and it'll look like you're doing it at full speed, because back then, the requirements of like clicks and stuff wasn't really as strict. It's also the method that most people use to record macros. And now we have finally finished tier 2 of the iceberg. This one took way longer in terms of video length and actual real world time due to having more entries and just overall having more subjects that require just more research overall. But now we can move on to tier 3. So this is one of the craziest events to happen in the Geometry Dash community in recent times, and what makes it better is the fact that I was actually there to witness it, so I don't have to do any research on this topic. I can just like say it straight up. So after 2 long years of Tartarus by Riot being the top 1 and people trying to dethrone it, 3 potential top 1s would be rated at the exact same time on October 30th, 2021. These 3 levels were Arcturus by MaxFS, verified by UltraKawa HD, Firework by Cherry Team, verified by Trick, and Slaughterhouse by Ice Cave, verified by Space UK.
Oh, okay, I verified it.
I verified it! I verified it! I verified it! I verified it! It's kind of funny how when Space UK quote-unquote verified it, he just started coughing. More on that later. But yeah, so 2 of these levels, Slaughterhouse and Firework, were placed at the number 1 and number 2 spot respectively, and Arcturus was placed below Tartarus. But now that doesn't really matter because Arcturus is now above Tartarus, so in the end, it was harder than Tartarus. This really was a crazy time to be in the Geometry Dash community. After Slaughterhouse was verified, a video would be uploaded by Colo GD, providing evidence that Space UK put cuts in his Slaughterhouse completion. Despite this being pretty concrete evidence, this video would be completely ignored by the Demons List team, despite Colo actually like sending it to them. But no, instead they just decided to just ignore it for some reason, and I have no idea why. Many months later, the video that you are currently seeing on screen right now came out, providing concrete evidence that Space UK was using a macro to hack his completions. This was concrete, and this time people actually listened. The evidence for the hacking was that there were different click delays on different clicks, which usually this would be consistent, like maybe a 1 or 2 frame click delay, or maybe even a 3 frame would be normal. But the thing with Space UK's videos were that there were almost like 5 frame differences between different clicks, which wouldn't happen in a normal recording unless he was clicking accurately to a macro. The reason people suspect that a macro was used is because an auto part in Oblivion, specifically the part right before the drop where you don't have to click anything, and a transition in the hallucination, both contain a very, very quiet click that would be consistent with, I don't know, hitting a keybind or something to turn on a macro. He responded to this by confessing to 3 hacked completions, those being Aerial Gleam, Oblivion, and Abyss of Darkness. He pretty much said that he just wanted to see how long he could go without getting caught just because he got bored with the game. Then, a bombshell dropped. There is a little known feature that was in Zbot, a watermark. And this watermark makes it to where that if you're using Zbot, the level complete text at the end will be smaller. And this was very, very unknown, and not a lot of people knew about this until someone pointed out that in every single one of Space UK's Extreme Demon completions, it had this smaller level complete text. This would lead to him posting a link to a twit longer, and yeah, I ain't reading all that. All of this happening led to the Demons List team going through like every single completion that was ever uploaded and checking for this watermark. And luckily, not many hackers were found. Pretty much every top player, like Trick, Cursed, Zoink, all of them, they were found to not be using this hack, which is honestly really good. And I'm glad that in the end, this incident was able to lead to the Demons List being able to detect hackers better. Viperin is the most popular level creator in the entirety of Geometry Dash, but there's one huge issue that pretty much everybody has with him, and that is the fact that all his levels tend to look very samey throughout. It pretty much becoming a meme at this point that Viperin only uses copy and paste, to the point where you can find several rant videos on YouTube of people talking about this subject. So, Kai Guy, a lot of his videos are just shorts, and no hate or anything, but they tend to be really crappy. Like the one you're seeing on screen right now, if you've seen this one, you pretty much have seen them all. Because they're all like this, where it's like, I don't know, like 10 levels of wave difficulty or some random layout he plays, and he just puts faked gameplay over it, and it's hard to tell if he's self-aware or not. Like, he knows that he's obviously cheating, because the thing is, someone who doesn't play the game could look at this and actually think that it's legit, but anyone who is actually a player of the game looks at this and just thinks it's stupid. And I kind of agree. I personally just don't enjoy this type of Geometry Dash content, and I just think it's really lazy. This is just referring to the TikTok side of the community and content creation, but it's just like, you know, GD Shorts, but not as bad. So there's a clip of Riot playing Bloodbath and just randomly saying quack, and it's like a 3-second clip, and I honestly don't know why it's on the Iceberg, because due to the last two ones being kind of related, I was expecting this one to be, I don't know, like a shorts creator. But yeah, here's the clip.
Quack.
So the Impossible game has a sequel to it called The Impossible Game 2, which doesn't even try to hide the fact that it rips from Geometry Dash. For example, it has teleport portals, orbs, a recreation of the ship game mode, you got moving objects, duel mode, and even a whole level editor, which something cool I'd like to point out, this game has something that actual Geometry Dash doesn't, and that's multiplayer mode, which people have been wanting for a while and has been teased in 2.2. Titan Channel is the most popular Russian Geometry Dash channel, and he's actually done a lot of really good things for the community. For example, he spent $3,000 on donations for small Geometry Dash streamers and donated $1,000 to a guy who had his dad in a car crash and he ended up surviving. So, speedrunning is the act of trying to beat a video game as fast as possible. So, it may surprise you that in a side-scrolling platformer that there is a speedrunning community. That being a very small speedrunning community, but it's still very strange considering you can't really control how fast you go. So in Geometry Dash speedruns, the only thing that you can control is how fast you switch to different levels. So that's the only thing separating different runs from each other, is how fast you switch levels. And to add a little twist to it, on PC, I don't know about mobile, but I know on PC, there's a glitch that can crash your game if you scroll too fast in the menu and play a new level. So to sum it up, Geostorm is a clan of, quote, highly skilled players and creators, and it had people like Viperin in it, and the only way to get in yourself was to be invited. I'm pretty much going to skip over this one as a whole since we already talked about private servers and I already mentioned 2.2 private servers. But yeah, this is referring to specifically the 2.2 private servers that allowed people to play a version of 2.2 before it was actually released. So this is a version of the demons list that only counts the extreme demons that were beaten on mobile, and currently the hardest level on the mobile demons list is Yatagarasu.
Yes! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, what? Yes!
So Sonic Wave Remakes is referring to the plethora of remakes that were made of Sonic Wave, and there are a lot, trust me. So I'm gonna list off all 6 of them, well technically 5 if you don't count the original. Sonic Wave Infinity, Auditory Breaker, Sonic Wave Rebirth, Generic Wave, the original Sonic Wave Bicyclic, and If Sonic Wave was level 1. Now, If Sonic Wave was level 1 is basically just I don't know why I say basically, it is just a nerfed version of Sonic Wave. It's not even fun to play because the wave is slowed down. I remember how controversial Sonic Wave Infinity was, so I wouldn't even begin to imagine how controversial it would be if we got another Top Demon Sonic Wave remake. I really can't figure out for the life of me what this is referring to, so I'm gonna have to skip to the next entry. This is more of a general term referring to just general arguments people have over the difficulty of levels, whether that be between 2 levels or arguing over like the actual rated difficulty of a level. Michigan was a very, very OG player. He played back in around 1.9, and he was most famous for his temple levels inspired by Zelda. He was truly a very good person in the GD community. He was described by people who were around back then as very helpful and kind, but unfortunately in March of 2021, Michigan would pass away. You can find memorials for him pretty much everywhere in the Geometry Dash community, such as just random triple spikes in levels having the word Michigan above it, or rest in peace Michigan. And also there was the memorial in r/place, which we talked about previously. Rest in peace Mitchie. So cube story levels are typically auto levels that will use the cubes and different game modes as means to tell a story, kind of like props almost. These levels were really popular a long time ago, but they've kind of fallen out of style. But who knows, they might have a resurgence with platformer mode, since now you can pretty much make cube story levels that are actually playable in platformer mode. So this is referring to the fact that Geometry Dash questionably has some sort of lore in it, like not really in a main story, but just kind of running in the background. It probably has something to do with like the chicken is in the oven, or you know, that kind of thing, or the vault of secrets and the whatever that thing is in the cage. Ooh, I can't wait to talk about this one because this one's funny. I'm not going to go too much into detail about the background stuff because I'm pretty sure the Tosh Deluxe hacking situation is deeper in the Iceberg, so I'll just talk about the saws themselves. So when this whole situation was going on, a particular set of saws was found at the top of Devil Vortex, and due to the controversy surrounding it and how people just didn't take this situation very seriously, this became a massive meme. And I'll flash a bunch of examples on screen right now, including a reference to it in r/place. This might seem a little bit strange to you if you don't know the whole situation, but don't worry, we'll talk about it deeper down in the Iceberg. The GDDP is a service developed by Trusta to help you improve at Geometry Dash. So the way it works is you'll have several tiers of demons. You'll have like a bronze tier, a silver tier, all the way up to like obsidian demons. And the thing with this is, so these tiers will have like different levels of difficulty, and each level will be assigned its own skill set. So you'll have stuff like timings, flow, duels, or yeah, stuff like that. And once you beat a certain number of levels in a tier, you'll be able to move on to the next one. And the whole idea of this is that it's supposed to help you steadily improve at the game. Alex Payne was active in the community a long time ago. And by long time ago, I mean back when 9 Circles was considered a really hard level. And that's actually one of the things he's most notable for, is being one of, if not the first people to actually beat 9 Circles. He still plays Geometry Dash, but he sticks to more like medium demons and hard demons, and maybe playing an insane demon every now and then. And hey, you can even spot him commenting on Geometry Dash videos every now and then. The Extreme Demon Roulette was created by Nepesta, and the whole idea is that you'll generate a random extreme demon and you will have to get 1% on it. Then you'll generate another one and get 2% on it, and then so on until you have to end up beating an extreme demon. In my opinion, this is a really cool and unique idea, and it provides a really nice challenge for the community. Triple Trial is a level by Michigan consisting of 50 triple spikes in a row. And this is actually the main reason, not the main reason, but it has a lot to do with why Michigan has such a big relationship with triple spikes and why it's like the main thing you associate with him. 3 Dash is a version of Geometry Dash that someone made that is developed in 3D, and some parts of it actually look really cool. It's even complete with its own level editor, and I'm pretty sure every single game mode is developed into it. And I'm not gonna lie, when I look at the ship physics in 3 Dash, it kind of reminds me of the Scratch versions of Geometry Dash that you used to play in school, because of the way the ship just falls down. It just looks weird. And so this game got popular after tons of Geometry Dash players and YouTubers like EVW, Aeon Air, and I'm pretty sure even some pro players such as Cursed played it. Overall, I think it's pretty neat. So someone made a mod that makes it to where when you're playing practice mode, it actually syncs up the actual like song that goes with the level, and when you're playing in practice mode, so you don't have to listen to that horrible song. And this mod was such a good quality of life thing that it ended up actually getting added to the vanilla game in 2.2. The update 1.9 for Geometry Dash is considered the golden era. Now, there are multiple reasons for this. A lot of them come down to the fact that the Steam version was released for Geometry Dash in 1.9, along with people officially being able to use songs other than the main like 15 that were able to be used at the time. And on top of that, it was just overall nostalgic with levels like Bloodbath, pro players like Riot, and in my opinion, I really like the 1.9 style, but that's semi-unrelated. A lot of the icons in Geometry Dash are very unoriginal and tend to either reference or just straight up copy other characters from video games. I could go on and on about these, but just to list a few, there's the Kirby one, Minecraft, Shy Guy, Batman, Iron Man, and many more. So, Raising717 is a Geometry Dash YouTuber with 160,000 subscribers, and he's most known for this clip that was going around back in the day of him singing Electrodynamics. And I'm being so honest, go subscribe to this kid because he's honestly funny as heck.
Programs. Just kidding, ha, tra-la-la-la, April Fool's pranked. I mean social experiment. Gonna have to move to iMovie. Last time I was there, I made Minecraft. Oh, wrong channel.
Now, when I was researching this Iceberg, I didn't originally know what Raising 717 Singing was referring to, except that's probably because the guy who made this Iceberg was playing a long time ago. So, a long time ago, this definitely would have been tip of the iceberg, so it was probably forgotten over time. Like bots are a program you can run in order to give a level or a comment artificial likes. Now, this could be done for non-malicious reasons, like if you find an underrated level and you want it to get some more attention, then you can like bot it so it gets more attention. And dislike bots tend to be a little more malicious. Like sometimes people will dislike bot something just because they personally don't like it. And I personally think that that comment or community post from Nike 2012 that we talked about earlier was dislike botted. So the Bloodbath GG path, or what I usually hear as the Michigan route, is a almost swag route you can take, where at the end of the level, after you hit that blue pad so you can go hit the triple spike, if you jump off the edge of that platform, you can jump onto the big letters that say GG and jump off of them and complete the level. And it's probably harder than just doing the triple spike because it's quite a tight timing. So cursed GD images is a style of Jump Dash memes that just kind of make you look at them and just kind of scratch your head because they just don't look right, you know? Sometimes it could be annoying because half of what people consider a cursed GD image is just the wave looking like it's doing a cube jump or a circle in Geometry Dash. GD News is a recently discontinued series by Vortrox where every now and then he'll make a video going through all the recent events in the Geometry Dash community, whether that be verifications, levels finally coming out, or just random miscellaneous stuff. Honestly, I'm sad it got discontinued because this used to be like my favorite thing to watch on YouTube. Daily 2.2 News is a series made by, however you pronounce this guy's name, where every single day he'll upload if whether or not there is 2.2 news or not, and if there is, he'll basically just run you through it and explain it. And for me, this was a series I followed pretty closely because, you know, I too was waiting out the release of 2.2 like literally everyone. Invisible Deadlocked is a rated level, which is literally just it's literally just deadlocked but invisible, and unsurprisingly it's by Kermal, who's known for having these types of levels rated, and it's absolutely insane. Like, I don't care what you say, in my opinion, Invisible Deadlocked is the most crazy rate in this whole game's history. And I don't mean like bad levels that got rated. I mean just in general, like, this should not have been rated, and honestly it's really funny. So Titan Channel, who we talked about earlier, is one of the only people to ever die at the last triple of Bloodbath. Bloodlust versus Plasma Pulse Finale is referring to a difficulty debate between these two levels, and the common consensus is that Plasma Pulse Finale is harder and that Bloodlust is horrendously overrated. But currently, on the list, Plasma Pulse Finale is at 142, and Bloodlust is at exactly 100. This is another difficulty debate, but this time between Tartarus and the Golden. So, Tartarus was verified a while ago and immediately placed at top 1. The Golden was verified shortly after and was placed at number 1 above Tartarus until more opinions were given on the level and the Golden was placed below Tartarus. Currently, Tartarus is at 34th and the Golden is at 38. So, the first jump in Polargeist is intended to be impossible if you don't use the jump ring, due to the fact that Polargeist is the level that introduces them, and it kind of enforces that as a rule. But, it's a fact that it's actually possible to do it without the jump ring, but it's a frame perfect, and you have to do a double jump, and by that I mean you have to jump and hold due to a bug that makes you jump slightly higher when you hold out of a jump. So it's pretty much common knowledge at this point that the main levels don't use the whole song. For example, the Time Machine song is 6 minutes long. The Mystic Monster is a meme that originated from this very, very goofy looking clubstep monster in Mystic. Users in Geometry Dash who have not actually verified their account yet with their email will appear as having a green username. Some levels like to put little Easter eggs in parts of the levels if you die in them, using the on death trigger to either, I don't know, just put a random meme on screen or to make fun of you, such as if you die at the end of Dream Travel, if you get the coin which makes the last jump like way harder, then this image will show up. So, practice mode is filled with bugs, and one notable, really annoying one that I have to deal with every single day is when doing a practice run, sometimes if you spam the delete checkpoint button, it will literally just send you all the way back to the level and you have to get to that part again. It's annoying. This is referring to this really funny cube story level. So, glow style hate is referring to the hatred of a style called glow style, which the name suggests abuses glow to make itself look good. And in my opinion, I don't like these levels. I think they're really lazy, and you could just make almost anything look good just by adding some glow. And I don't like it, because the demons list is filled with random just levels that you've never even heard of that are just like 10 different colors and all abuse glow, and I don't like them. C1997, also known as just C, was a YouTuber who made really high-end and professional Geometry Dash documentaries. And he took this skill and he wanted to do something a little more serious with it, so he started making documentaries on space, and he deleted his Geometry Dash content because he wanted his channel to be dedicated to just like space and just professional documentaries. Cyclic vs. Riot is referring to a friendly rivalry that two pro players, Cyclic and Riot, had back in 1.9, with Riot ultimately coming out on top after Cyclic confessed to hacking. And it was an insane moment when Riot found out about this, because he realized that he had been rivaling a hacker the whole time and ended up coming out on top.
Dude, I really don't understand.
This is
fucking
surprise.
crazy. No, it cannot be real. I've been competing with a hacker the whole time. What is the point? What is life?
You gotta make the exposing video.
In 2.2, 9 new gauntlets were added. Very basic entry, moving on. The World Gauntlet actually had a really interesting idea to it. And yeah, it was called the World Gauntlet. So RobTop hosted a creator contest with Viperin, and people from all across the world were gonna make levels and submit them into the contest, which is called a creator contest, where yeah, you submit your part or a whole level, and there will be votes to decide who wins, and that's what they did for the World Gauntlet, and I honestly think it was a really cool idea. There were 16 countries competing in this. Those were Russia, Italy, Chile, Argentina, Indonesia, Spain, Australia, Canada, Vietnam, USA, Germany, Peru, China, and South Korea, and France. This was a really cool thing for Viperin and RobTop to do, and I'm really glad they did it because it's one of the more neat things in the community in recent times. Master Detective is an achievement that awards you with a secret coin. A secret coin will appear on the Coming Soon page after scrolling through the all the main levels really fast. Capaclysm by Glitterstorm is a remake of Cataclysm by G-Boy, a really old level that used to be considered impossible, but was verified and was, you know, the hardest at the time. That's pretty obvious, but I'm just explaining that for the people who don't know. But yeah, this level is in the Chaos Gauntlet, and I thought it was pretty fun, and I think he adapted the deco into an easier level pretty well in some parts. Orochi was previewed 5 years ago after Nobleboy got done with Bloodlust, and so basically it was aimed to be a top 1, and when I say top 1, I mean top 1. It was way harder than Bloodlust, which I think was the top 1 at the time, and Nobleboy basically said, hey, let's run it back, because he wanted to recreate the Bloodlust situation, where it was a level far ahead of its time, and he wanted to dedicate years to trying to verify it, just like Bloodlust. And yeah, opinions are kind of they're kind of mixed, because on one hand you got the decoration, which used to look horrible because it used to all be like 1.9 and 2.0, so yeah, it just didn't look that good. And then it got a redeco in the third preview of it that actually looks really good, and it had Kulak in it, so yeah, obviously it looks good. There's two types of people at this level. There's the people who think it's never gonna get verified, which I disagree with, and the people who think it will get verified, which I think it will, because it's literally like the same thing with Bloodlust. Nobleboy did it once, he can do it again, and yeah, I think he can do it, and yeah, he can pull through. Now, some people question whether or not this is top 1 by today's standards with Tidal Wave at top 1. I don't really know. I'm not that good at the game, so I can't really give my opinion on that. So you might have to go on some other YouTube channel to figure that one out. Though I said I think he could verify on his own, I still think it would be best for the level if he gave it to someone else. But hey, that's his choice. Galaxy Collapse was an almost 4-minute long level aimed to be top 1 at the time. In my opinion, I think it's really cool. I absolutely adore the song, and the decoration for what's done is really nice. But this level has been in the works for a long time, and I don't necessarily know the details if Trusta is still going for it or not, but his best run is literally 9 to 23 or something, so I don't think this is getting verified by Trusta, at least. Because the thing with Nobleboy has proven that he's done things like Orochi before with Bloodlust, but I don't know, with how inactive Trusta is, I don't think Galaxy Collapse is getting verified by him. The project is pretty much dead at this point. For some reason, people seem to really strongly dislike Insane Demons, which I entirely don't understand. There are some really good insane demons out there, and in my opinion, if we're going to be hating on a demon difficulty, we should probably be hating on medium demons. No one talks about medium demons. I know about 2 medium demons, and both of them are joke levels. Succubin Egg and Astral Virginity. Those are the only 2 medium demons I know. The chicken is in the oven is kind of a running joke in the community, and I know it has something to do with the vaults and stuff. But if you type in "the chicken is on fire" in one of the vaults, you'll get like a swamp green color. But guys, there's a plot twist. There was no chicken. Building with Lemons is a very popular 21-part series by the YouTuber Lemons, and it's pretty old, but if you've ever tried searching for a building tutorial in Geometry Dash, chances are one of his videos have popped up. If you give the Lenny face icon a black primary color and a white secondary color, it'll look like this. Yeah, I hate it too. Codependence is a 2-player extreme demon, meaning that you have to play with another person in order to play the level. And what solo codependence is referring to is the idea of beating the hardest 2-player level with only one person. This is possible because it has been done with other 2-player levels such as Dual Maestro. This is a small detail I didn't realize until recently, but in the beginning of Finger Dash, there's actually glow on the player icon, at least in the beginning, and I never knew this until like a week ago when I was making this Iceberg. The Nintendo Switch port for Geometry Dash doesn't exist, but a lot of people want one, including me, because I just think it would be so fun to play Geometry Dash on a Switch, which I own. And like, just think about it. If you're like on 2-player levels, like one player could be one Joy-Con and the other could be the other Joy-Con. Just think about it. Honestly, yeah, I really hope sometime soon Rob Top decides to develop a port for the Switch. And that's gonna be the end of part 1. This video took a very long time, and we're only 3 tiers in, and we have 11 more tiers to go. This video is an hour and a half long, only covering 3 tiers. Anyways, I'm glad that I'm done with part 1, and I'll see you in part 2.